Hello, beautifuls. Welcome to JuJu Thyme. I have another story for you that I would love to share. It's a tale from Miss Zora Neale Hurston from the book Mules and Men. This is what the old ones said in ancient times. Belief in magic is older than writing, so nobody knows how it started. The way we tell it, Hoodoo started way back there before everything. 6 days of magic spells and mighty words, and the world with its elements above and below was made. And now, God is leaning back, taking a 7th day rest. When the 8th day comes around, He'll start to making new again. Man wasn't made until around 5:30 on the 6th day, so he can't know how anything was done. Kingdoms crushed and crumbled whilst man went gazing up into the sky and down into the hollows of the earth, trying to catch God working with his hands so he could find out his secrets and learn how to accomplish and do. But no man yet has seen God's hands, nor yet his fingernails. All they could know was that God made everything to pass and perish, except stones. God made stones for memory. He builds a mountain himself when he wants things not forgotten. Then his voice is heard in rumbling judgment. Moses was the first man who ever learned God's power-compelling words, and it took him 40 years to learn 10 words. So he made 10 plagues and 10 commandments. But God gave him his rod for a present and showed him the back part of his glory. Then, too, Moses could walk out of the sight of man. But Moses would never have stood before the burning bush if he had not married Jethro's daughter. Jethro was a great hoodoo man. Jethro could tell Moses could carry power as soon as he saw him. In fact, he felt him coming. Therefore, he took Moses and crowned him and taught him. So Moses passed on beyond Jethro with his rod. He lifted it up and tore a nation out of Pharaoh's side, and Pharaoh couldn't help himself. Moses talked with the snake that lives in a hole right under God's footrest. Moses had fire in his head and a cloud in his mouth. The snake had told him God's making words, the words of doing and the words of obedience. Many a man thinks he is making something when he's only changing things around. But God let Moses make, and then Moses had so much power, he made the 8 winged angels split open a mountain to bury him in, and shut up the hole behind them. And ever since the days of Moses, kings have been toting rods for a sign of power. But it's mostly sham polish because no king has ever had the power of even one of Moses' 10 words. Because Moses made a nation and a book. 1,000 million leaves of ordinary men's writings couldn't tell what Moses said. Then, when the moon had dragged 1,000 tides behind her, Solomon was a man. So Sheba, from her country where she was, felt him carrying power, and therefore she came to talk with Solomon and hear him. The Queen of Sheba was an Ethiopian, just like Jethro, with power unequal to man. She didn't have to deny herself to give gold to Solomon. She had gold-making words. But she was thirsty, and the country where she lived was dry to her mouth. So she listened to her talking ring and went to see Solomon, and the fountain of his garden quenched her thirst. So she made Solomon wise and gave him her talking ring. And Solomon built a room with a secret door, and every day he shut himself inside and listened to that ring. So he wrote down the ring talk in books. That's what the old ones said in ancient times, and we talk it again. I hope you found this tale as fascinating as I did. Thank you for being here with me, beautifuls. Until the next one, truth and love.